Hey folks, thank you for joining me again for another tying video. Today I am going to tie for you one of the ugliest flies that I tie, but it is probably hands down the most effective fly that I have made for steelhead fishing. Never tried it on just regular trout. This was systematic in actually developing this fly. I call this the dirty rainbow smolt. And I call it dirty mainly because of the tie. The tie is super simple. And I hope you enjoy this. Tie a bunch of these up in a bunch of different over colors. What I mean by that is, I'll explain that as we go along in this whole process. So I tie these really in size 14's the most, believe it or not, and I tie these on a jig hook from Firehole. I usually use their 551s, but you can also tie these with their 637s as well. I would actually tie it on a maybe a 12 at that point, but 14s and 12s are a really good size. And I'll get you a photo of this guy. I'll get you a photo of this fella wet, because this baby, it just outperforms every other insect, every other fly, excuse me, that I've tied for steelhead, including eggs. So I'm going to be tying this on a 14. I'm just using a standard First Drip Fly Company slotted tungsten bead. Even if I am indicator fishing or taking clients indicator fishing, I tie many, probably 90% of all my subsurface insects with beads. The reason I tie them with beads, some of them it actually adds to the profile, but the main reason I tie these with beads is because I can usually get enough weight in the fly itself without ever adding split shot. I don't have anything against split shot. I just simply, well, I actually take that back. The one major thing I have against split shot is anything extra added to the leader is going to change the drift. It's going to add mass. It's therefore then going to be affected by the current. And I will tell you, like trout fishing all over the world, it isn't so much about the fly as it is about the drift you make the fly or can create with the fly. And steelhead are no different. So for my thread, again, some Semper Fi Nano Silk. This is what, 6/0 100 denier. I like this for streamers because I can crank down on it. So again, we're just going to start behind the thread or behind the bead here. Here I will build a little tiny bit of bulk up, but I don't want too much because where that's at is going to be pretty important. I'm going to cut our excess off and get yourself some kind of metallic dubbing. Something that'll give some sheen to the body, a lot like this here. You can get this, hare's ear, I mean anything that is pearly metallic, and I ripped some of that off. Now I'm a fan of wax on my fingers. And I'm going to, well, I like to do this. I'll add a little bit. You see, I haven't gone back real far yet. You don't need much of this. And I'll finish my wraps to the bend of the hook. Sometimes I'll go even a little bit further on these. It just kind of adds a little hot spot back there. And then we're going to wrap forward. Doesn't have to look super pretty, okay? There's the body of that fly. Now, if you go to AmericanTiedFlies.com, you're going to find Aaron Laterra's Magnum Dubbing. Love this stuff. So we're going to put a base of his white on, which has some UV properties and such into it. And basically, what I do for this fly, I try to get all the bulk of this at the head of this fly. So we tie off a good chunk of that, or pull off a good chunk, okay? And then I'll fold that over the thread, bring it right behind the bead of the hook, just like that. And then I'll wrap back a little bit, and then forward again. And then what I'll do here, I only want the body of this about 1.5 to 2 times the length of the hook. So I'll come back here and I'll pinch it tight, and I'll just pick this apart. And then if you kind of play with it a little bit more, it'll fray back out and give you that little kind of profile that you're looking to get out of one of these flies. All right? So then, because we're doing rainbow smolts, I always like to do a little line. Not much. Same dubbing from Aaron. Aaron has a bazillion colors of this stuff. Just a little piece of the purple. Again, I'm going to fold that right over top of that thread like that. Bring it right down on top. Same thing. Run that thread back a little bit. And then each piece I want just a little bit longer. Now I could probably end that fly right there and it would catch fish, but I like some bulk. So to make it more rainbow and a little bit more bulk, well, Aaron has a rainbow, I think this is called Dirty Care Bear or Homeless Care Bear or something. But I'm going to take a chunk of that, and this is what I meant by that over body. This is going to be my kind of over top everything, the concealer, if you will. So I pinch that over top, I bring it right on top of that, right behind that bead again, and then I finish it off good there, and then I come back to this back again, okay, and I pick my way to the profile that I'm kind of looking for. So you can already see, once this gets wet, you're already probably realizing what's going to happen. This underbody is going to show through there some. You're going to have that real nice profile in there. Now you can add more flash into this if you want, but this is a dirty smolt. Anything extra you do to it, it's no longer the dirty smolt, the dirty rainbow smolt. So what I'm going to do from here is I usually add a little bit of dubbing. It doesn't really matter. You can add any color you want. I actually have found just a little bit of light purple on there. Okay? Just a little bit of, it doesn't have to be much at all. Just enough, honestly. Just enough to fill in the gap where we're at there with the thread I put down. Now the cool part about this fly, you can tie this fly, and again I'm using, to make it more durable, some Zap-A-Gap or super glue. And we're going to crank that baby into there. Give it a good tug. Cut it off. That fly will, the hook will bend before that fly comes apart now. That's a dirty rainbow smolt. So my recommendations, you can use, and I really highly recommend this, some raccoon fins as well are a good addition to this. I like, yeah, I know you're like, that's not light olive. Here's that for that package. The reason that I like the different colors that you can overlay or put inside is now you're able to make some different kinds of smolt patterns, some shiner patterns, something that may just be different but holds the profile of a fish. I hope you enjoyed this really simple tie, and get out, make some of these, and go catch some of those monsters. Thank you.